Hi, it's Nick Shell, the internet receding hairline guy. I guess I got your attention with that title, didn't I? Which is, will pretty girls still like me? When you first read that title, it does seem kind of funny or even vain. But you know what? I think it's pretty universal. If you're a younger guy and you're still single, to think, man, but what if, because I'm starting to lose my hair, will I still be able to get the attention of a pretty girl? So here's the deal. I'm like 3 or 4 weeks away from turning 35. Now granted, I'm married. I've been married for nearly 8 years, and in a couple of weeks I'll have my second child. So I'm way past that point in my life of having to worry about, you know, finding someone to marry and all that stuff. That's a decade ago, if not even further away, that I was thinking about that kind of stuff. So this video is for guys who haven't got to that place yet in life. Let's talk about that subject, and I'm going to use a lot of information that I've talked about in other videos and apply it to answer the question today. So let's say I know a lot of my subscribers, I'm going to go in this tree because it seems kind of windy today, but I know a lot of my video subscribers are younger. I mean, it seems that a lot of you are teenagers or your early 20s, and so I could see how this would be something you'd wonder about and want to watch this video on. So here's the thing, in case you're hearing this first from me, the way we are attracted to women is different than the way they're attracted to us. No, yes, a woman can easily see the difference between an ugly guy and a handsome guy. No denying that. However, the way that they define handsomeness is maybe not the same way we perceive it. You can not have hair and be a very handsome guy, and I've mentioned that before in my other videos. It's a matter of what you do about it. I mean, if it were me and I didn't have any hair up here and I just kind of had some back here, I would just shave it all off down to a 1. That's what I would do. But you know, if I were me now, say I had this hairline when I was only 21, which, you know, it hasn't gotten much worse than 21 because it was already kind of this way when I was 21. But let's say it was like this when I was 21. I'd still keep this hair. I wouldn't just shave my hair off just because of that. Women aren't that judgmental towards your hairlines as you think. In fact, if you think they are, then let's put it this way. And I'm trying to stay family friendly because that's my whole persona here. But I think maybe the equivalent is this. What if guys would only date girls that had certain size body parts, right? That would be very not cool of the guy. And I think it's kind of the same thing with girls. If there was a guy that they liked that was funny and well put together and had a plan, it wouldn't matter if he had hair or not. That wouldn't, for most women, that's not going to be a deal breaker. And most importantly, it's not going to be one of the top things they're really worried about. It's funny because when I think, and obviously I wouldn't name anybody here, but I can think of men that I've known in my life that lost their hair very soon. And so pretty much from their 20s on, they just had to shave their head down to a number 1. And that was it. But it didn't affect how pretty their wife ended up being. It really had no effect over that. In fact, I can even reverse that and say this. I've noticed that some of the most attractive married women, you look at their husband and you're like, oh, that's who she ended up with. A lot of times this guy is bald. So I'm like, okay, well maybe there's something about being bald and getting a pretty girl. What I'm telling you is this. I know it's easy to think that, oh, no attractive girl is going to like me because I'm starting to lose my hair. Don't think that. It's all about how you handle it. The thing most women care more about than your hair, because that's way down the list, is your amount of confidence. Are you confident? Maybe even more important than that, can you make her laugh? That's probably one of the most important things. See, women aren't expected to be funny. Guys are, right? So when I met my wife, the first thing I noticed was her appearance. She never noticed my appearance until 4 months later when I asked her out. I mean, I can't even comprehend that. She never thought whether or not I'm good looking or not. She never saw me in that way until after 4 months, after I had already earned her attention and affection by my conversation, by being funny, by having a steady job and dressing decently, and all of that stuff. That's what actually mattered to her. So, I mean, I can speak from personal experience. Granted, I wasn't bald when I met her because that was, I mean, it was nearly a decade ago now, but I didn't look that much different than I do now. But still, now that I know what I know about women and know about being married and know about losing hair and all this stuff, you don't have to worry about the amount of your hair affecting what kind of woman you end up with. You could end up with the most beautiful woman and be completely bald, and that wouldn't even be a weird thing. That wouldn't be abnormal. The chances of that happening are very good. It's all the other stuff you got to worry about. You got to worry about being funny. You got to worry about being well dressed and well put together, well kept. You got to have a steady job. You got to have a plan for your future. You got to be confident in who you are. So that's ultimately how I want to close this video. Can you, the guy who, let's assume, is in his 20s and is starting to lose his hair, can you be confident in who you are as you are? If you can't, there's a good chance you can't get that girl. I don't care what she looks like. It's going to be harder to get whoever the girl is if you're not confident in who you are, with or without hair. And that's something one of my recent videos I talked about. I said, I'm happy with or without hair. I've done it both ways. I've shaved off my head for months. I'm no happier now with hair than I was before. I was perfectly content then. And that's what the girl needs to see. She needs to see that you're not insecure about your hair. And I think most men, I don't think that we are. I think it's more of a subconscious thing. We're not obsessed with it. But it definitely helps my viewership on these videos because not a lot of men talk about it with confidence and authority like I do. So here, that's what you have to think about. It's a matter of being confident in who you are. It's about having a good appearance, well kept. You don't want to be a slob. You got to be funny. You got to be interesting. You got to have a steady plan for the future and a steady job. If you get those things taken care of, I'm confident the hair's not going to hold you back. All right, I wouldn't speak to you to make you feel good. All right, that's not my job. I don't sugarcoat things. I'm honest and direct, and I speak with authority on the subject. Otherwise, I'm not going to talk about it, whatever it is. Okay, so I'm telling you with full confidence, this is how it actually is. So if you've been worried about this, that you're not going to end up with a pretty girl at the end when it's all said and done, you are. Just get those other things taken care of. And she's not worried about your hair, so you don't have to worry about it either. Just get to the point where you feel comfortable with your hair. If you're going to feel more comfortable shaving it off, then do it. Or if you want to be like me and obviously have a receding hairline but still have hair, yeah, it's fine, as long as you're confident in that. So if you got any questions or comments, hey, I'm your guy. But I want to assure you, it's not an issue unless you make it an issue. You heard it first from me, Nick Shell, the Internet Receding Hairline Guy.